Hello and welcome back to the WePlay Tug of War Radiant Super Finals Best of 7 showdown between Team Empire, the victors of the Western bracket, and Team NIP, who are victors of the actual Western bracket, and Empire were victors of the Eastern bracket. My bad. As we enter through the number 5 game of this massively long series, but it could well be the last, as NIP are currently 3-1 up upon Team Empire. So everything to play for now for NIP, and look at those odds coming through for Team Empire right here. 12.5. The odds do not favor them at all, and only 1.02 for NIP. If you do like the look of those odds, then you can head over to 1xBet and you can place yourself a bet on this. 130 euros available for you and your first deposit on this tournament only. So of course this could well be the last game, so your last chance to do it might well be running out now. Well, as Nomad, joining me is, of course, Tsunami, helping me make some waves today.
Dude, I'm impressed. You've been able to come up with something new for every single game.
You know,
you must have a list that you've been...
Very literally, I do, yes. I've got plenty more as well.
You're sitting there in the shower and you're like, I got a new segue for a co-caster.
Yeah, just sprint out of the shower, like, butt naked to my computer. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Now, of course, we've got a ton of games going on. It's been a lot to keep track of, so we've come up with our own little system in order to keep track of all of these games, and we've been archiving them in a comic book format in some MS Paint drawings made by myself. And Tsunami is going to take you through the last game using this comic. So, what do you think of this one? Took in a different direction this time.
This one's legitimately good. This one, I'm actually, I like this one quite a bit. This one is Reddit worthy, nearly.
Wow.
So I can't even corrupt this one. PPD. Only thing is, you don't have PPD's sick tats. He's got, he's got like that Broodmother tattoo on his arm. He's working on his sleeve. No NIP logo either. I mean, PPD's a company, man. PPD's he's always repping either, you know, Optic, EG, NIP. He's very brand aware, but he's brand aware of himself. He's wearing a hat with his own name on it, and so girlfriend's like, I'm home alone, or rather, you know, PPD's like, you know, I'm in a game right now, and girlfriend's like, I'm home alone. So he's like, all right. He drafts. This time it's a ninja in pajamas because it doesn't have a hat. It's not a shadow shaman.
We know the code now.
It whacks an Empire King over the head, who his legs are kind of in a suspicious position, if you ask me.
Suspicious.
You didn't do the top half of what potentially that symbol could have been. You know.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, I get what you get.
But that would have been an empire of its own as well.
True.
But he gets whacked over the head with a draft, and I'm very satisfied with this rage quitting anti-mage. I don't know why you went for blue as opposed to purple. I think it's just because you had the Gene color from PPD, and you're like, it's the same color. I don't care. I'm filling it in. Paint buckets away.
These have got to be quick, you know? I've got work to do in between these games, you know? It's not all fun and games.
Anti-Mage was so angry he didn't even change clothes. He just comes out in his pajamas and he's like, I lost the game, we're done.
Didn't even have like an assault cuirass on or anything yet, you know? Just pure naked Anti-Mage, ready to roll.
Alright, so you know what? We're stepping up 2 points. I'm giving you a 9 out of 10 for this one.
Wow. Very high praise indeed. Alrighty then, let's get into this draft for the 5th and potentially the final game between these two teams, as NIP are up 3-1 currently in this best of 7 series, and they're going to try and close things out with an Arc Warden.
Dude, they did so good. Empire lost the one game that they had. They took away Empire's one win slot. Although I guess you can't see that on your thing. Right, we gotta go back. Oh, we didn't sync up our streams.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, I'm on the ban on 30, 29, 28. Okay.
29? Holy crap! Okay, hold on. I gotta sit for like 8 seconds. Keep going.
All right, 20, 19, 18, 17.
Kanka?
Yep, Kanka.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, we're good.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sorry about that. We're back to your regular scheduling. You know, this is a different way of casting this one, but it means we get to piggyback off the Russian stream and get all these fancy things like betting odds and camera work. We just get to sit here and do nothing during the cast, which is kind of all right.
I always do nothing during casts.
just nothing at all. Go to sleep, have a nap. All right, so. What do we think of the... I mean, I think Ursa's pretty good hero versus Arc Warden, though, right? I mean, he's very good at getting inside this bubble, just blinking on top of the Arc Warden's face and taking care of him.
He's good, but the problem is he can only purge off one of the fluxes. And so Arc Warden with the Tempest Double means that you can only use Enrage to purge off one of the slows. And Ursa does not have anyone that is gonna help him out. These are all ranged heroes. Shaman wants to stay as far away as possible, so he can get Shackles. Viper and Wyvern want to stay very far away. I mean, I guess Viper can kind of get in the fight, but the thing is, no one's gonna be able to mute this Flux by standing next to Ursa like a Tusk would, or something like that. And so it's a little bit difficult, and I'm not surprised why NIP picked the Arc Warden in response to the Ursa. I think it's a very smart option. Don't know how well it does against Viper mid. I think you probably need to put more points in Magnetic Field, because Flux isn't going to be that useful. It's going to mostly get Corrosive Skin reduced, and you'll take your own damage. But for what it's worth, at least the Nether Toxin break isn't really that valuable this game. There isn't really anything you can break other than Arcane Supremacy and Lucky Shot, I guess, and Geminate Attack, but that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, we've a pretty good versus Ursa though, right? Like he's the #1 kiting hero against the #1 hero that does not want to be kited. So very nice pickup, I think, in this situation. They just don't really have the lockdown to deal with him. All they've got is the Shaman. No one else has a stun other than the Wyvern, who just stuns a little bit funky and you can't damage them inside anyway. So yeah, I think this is a great read from NIP and a great pickup from them.
Choose your hero.
Okay.
Yeah, Anti-Mage.
Yikes! I'm very surprised they decided to go back for this one. I mean,
especially without a Magnus this time. Because last time you had at least the potential for Empower. Oh yeah, he struggled.
I think it's fair to say he struggled.
But I mean, Anti-Mage is always struggle early on. The bigger issue is that the Huskar struggled, and this time Kodos has a slightly more reliable hero. But the trade-off is that you don't have anyone accelerating an Anti-Mage. In fact, Anti-Mage is going to have to fight with his Viper and Ursa to find farm on the map. So, not particularly enthusiastic about Anti-Mage, but it can go late game against an Arc Warden. It's just that I didn't, like, there are many heroes that can go late game against an Arc Warden. Why Anti-Mage? They have minimal stuns. You know, it's Pango, Rubik, Bane, and Rubik has the potential to steal Winter's Curse, a lot of Shaman spells, so actually being stolen by Shaman is bad. And having Blink stolen is also pretty bad. I'm not a fan of this Anti-Mage pick.
Yeah, and what does he reflect, really? Like, Flux?
Freaking Colden, you edgelord. There's no way Empire's gonna be confidently having a draft victory over this. You kidding me right now, man?
Do you just want a contrarian vote for sure, man? Like he's outed himself now. He's just here for the he wants to be the one right guy. Jeez. All right. Well, I mean,
Godspeed to him.
We can't hear his reasoning. Maybe he's got some insanely insightful points. You know, you never know. But it's definitely going to be Empire probably on the back foot for a long time until this Anti-Mage comes online with his Battle Fury, which, as we said, he's going to have to be fighting a lot. He's going to get involved in these fights, so I'm not really too sure. That said, Arc Warden isn't the best at closing out games. I mean, he's probably going to go for this Necrobook build and just try to push down real hard, as we've seen in the past before. Is that going to be enough to kind of shut the game out against an Anti-Mage? It remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to go like very heavily on push. The rest of his team is good enough at fighting around him that this Arc Warden can actually participate in fights if necessary, because Magnetic Field is going to be pretty valuable. It'll provide evasion against the Serpent Wards. I am actually not 100% sure how Magnetic Field interacts with Winter's Curse. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do anything. But I've never seen that before, so I don't know. Like, in theory, if you put a magnetic field on your ally who's cursed, will they evade everything?
So? You assume so, yeah. Yeah, I'd have thought so.
But why would allies be affected by magnetic field? Like, what if they get more attack speed if you put the magnetic field on them, right? Because it's a buff. It should be a buff.
True. I don't know. It remains to be seen. We shall maybe see this one this time around. All right, then. Let's get into it. We have possibly what could be the final game if NIP play their cards right for this game. As we step into it, Empire versus Ninjas in Pyjamas in the best of 7 series. Ninjas in Pyjamas are 3-1. That's right, I think. And we just can't see that at the top for some reason. I don't know. They're trying to scroll it or something? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's because there's no best of 7 indicator in like games.
Get it together, Valve.
It's unprecedented to have this level of competition, and Valve was like, it's not gonna happen. Don't need to support
No one's
it.
stupid enough to do a best of 7.
Chill, baby.
Alright, well, WePlay, you know.
The battle begins.
They're on their own level.
Drum.
Yeah.
You gotta make your name for yourself. They don't have any DPC events, right? And so, like, what better way to stand out than being like, did you run a best of 7 event? I don't think so.
PPD being run down a little bit by Dream here. So I love the PPD sound space where Dream kind of turns around to say, "What?
You want to go?
You want to come? You want to come up here?
You want some of this? You want it?"
It's like when you mumble something when your parents turn away after telling you off. Like, what was that? Nothing. Zach's TPing out right under Sayu's nose. He's already leveled up the Ether Shock, so no threat here. So we get into this laning phase. So it's going to be Dream and Archangel on the AM and the Winter Wyvern here in the bottom lane versus up Fatter and PPD on the Weaver and the Bane respectively as they get into this matchup. And I feel like, again, this is going to be a struggle for the Anti-Mage. I mean, there's so much harass which is going to come out of these two. Thankfully, he's got a Wyvern who's a bit of a stronger laner than Oracle is, has to be said. And yeah, PPD just being chased out of this lane. That's exactly what they need to do. Keep him away. He's a 1 with the life drain, which is going to be super annoying early on. Weaver, you know, he's a pain, he's a bug, but he doesn't really do as much when it comes to the actual lane. And with this split focus, we will be able to see all 3 lanes going on at the same time.
Yeah, the one thing that is going well for NIP is the fact that the Bane and the Weaver don't necessarily need that much mana. Obviously, Weaver would like to have it so that he can Shikuchi, but just off of Geminate attack, he can last it fairly well. And same thing with Bane. Bane has amazing stats, and so even though, especially now that he has been re-equalized to even stats at all gain levels, so his strength and his agi are all the same again after 7.21 kind of messed it up, and so he doesn't necessarily need to rely on that brain sap to stay in lane. So even though Anti-Mage is going to be very irritating with his mana break, the heroes will still be able to operate fairly well in the lane.
PPD just chasing Black Archangel right under the tower here. Yeah, no chill at all.
Dude, that would be a great voice line for Winter Wyvern.
What's that?
No chill at all.
Yeah. It's pretty fitting as Sayu looking for some more damage, just looking to harass people away and give Maiden the best kind of possible lane possible on this Ursa. Well, it's just a battle of supports down here in the bottom lane. They're kind of leaving the Weaver and the AM to get to it as PPD and we'll try to interrupt this. But actually a blink forward from Dream, going to close the distance onto PPD here. He could be in some trouble. The Arctic Burn going to rip through him pretty quickly. Tree immediately eaten up by Dream, but now the Weaver comes in, laying down that harass. Dream has to back himself out for the time being. 1-1-1 is his skill build, and kind of interesting actually, because doesn't Brain Sap do pure damage?
Yes. But what are you getting at?
Well, the counter spell.
Oh, I mean, I guess Shikuchi.
I guess.
And then, in theory, you could use it to reflect the... Oh, also, it actually has an interesting interaction with Nightmare. If you... Okay, wait, no, I wrote this down, so let me make sure it's 100% correct.
Impressive.
Alright, Nightmare... Okay, if you attack a target that's Nightmared and you have Counterspell on, you'll take it off the target, and Bane will go to sleep.
Wow. That's some,
the thing is that Bane can
stuff.
immediately take it off, but at the same
still,
time, like you could theoretically interrupt a Fiend's Grip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a TP. So yeah, if you activate Counterspell and then you attack any target, even if it's an ally or an enemy, then you'll be able to take the Nightmare off and put it on Bane.
Once again being chased down, Dream jumping forwards, but realizing that he needs to be careful as the Weaver, looking for it, but doesn't actually find him, so save himself from the Sakuchi damage. PPD will get out okay, but the constant threat looming off Dream and Black Archangel is very scary for PPD here. And he's played this lane very well, though, I have to say. To not die so far is quite impressive.
Yeah, it's a very difficult balance. You have to stay on as low mana as possible, so... Well, he gets one attack off, but Ace isn't going to challenge. You have to stay as low as possible so that Anti-Mage's mana break doesn't deal that much damage to you, but you also need to have like a mango and a stick in the bank so that you can turn around and Brain Sap if necessary.
Lift up, and 33 trying to back himself away with a swashbuckle. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, PPD will just throw himself under a tower, run out of mana, run out of health, so it decides to just respawn. Take the easy way out. This top lane's going pretty damn well for Empire, though. I mean, this lane phase is completely different to last time, to be honest, as they've drafted these pretty strong lanes, and they're going pretty well so far. In fact, NIP possibly even falling behind, as this mid lane just complete domination for the Viper.
Oh, he gets a disarm.
Trying to chase up 33. 33 will get away. Yeah, so Arc Warden versus Viper. It's not a matchup I've personally seen many times, but considering this is like Viper in the current patch, I'm not really surprised to see him dominate. But he's gone with the poison attack build. Alright, taking it old school, but this makes sense, you know, if there's a kill opportunity, then gotta give it a go, right?
Yeah, it is a little bit surprising to see that. Especially because I would think that against a magnetic field you would prefer to have some sort of damage that you can put into a field as opposed to having to right-click. But I guess, you know, there is a lot of potential for getting kited this game. Like, Weaver is not going to get affected by Nether Toxin at all. And it's possible that Kodos is not going to really worry about farming the jungle too much. Like I said, Anti-Mage is going to have to fight with his Ursa and his Viper to find farm in the jungle, and so Viper doesn't want to be taking up farm out of Anti-Mage's mouth. Might as well try to get kills and attacks with more points in poison attack, I suppose.
And this is looking to be a much closer game than before, though. I mean, that doesn't say much, considering I'm pretty sure they were like taking tier 2s at this stage, but... Look at Archangel hanging out in the middle lane, looking to maybe go on to Ace here. Ace doesn't have any mana to work with, and they immediately go. The moment he comes near that range, Creep the Slow comes out, the poison out as well on Tim as well. Ace can't really do a thing. Magnetic Field comes down, Viper jumping straight into it here. Ace trying to get away here. Fairy Fire into the trees as well. Kodos is looking for him. Meanwhile, first blood is drawn in the top lane as Saxa goes down, and a beautiful juke coming out from Ace. And now Hero's coming in. They're looking at maybe turning this one around. Meanwhile, the top lane, Shackle is out. Pango has to get himself away from Maiden, but will be successful. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, they're still looking to chase down Kodos here, but PPD can't find the distance. Kodos will get himself away, but what a play from Ace there to get around those trees. And they put him to sleep here, but will be taken out by Black Archangel, so no big deal.
Yeah, great evasive maneuver by Ace, especially at the very end, opting to go back into the set of trees rather than trying to escape out of the wave.
See you into the trees, could be in some trouble though, as 33 and Zaxa surround him and bring him down once again. His second death up here in the top lane. Oh no, sorry, that was the other way around. The Ursa got the kill the first time around, and now 33 gets one.
So that kind of situation is why I thought that Nether Toxin would prove to be more valuable than more points in poison attack, but the only justification is he's investing more in his mid game, and he's not going to be just farming the jungle all day.
Yeah, he needs to be aggressive. He needs to be rotating with his Ursa to make space for the anti-mage. But yeah, a bit of a rough start for NIP, to be honest. I mean, 33 hasn't really had a look in. The Arc Warden's been fairly shut down by this Viper in the middle lane, and I was about to say that Viper doesn't really care too much about these Spark Reds due to the points in Corrosive Skin, but apparently he'd rather have the creeps take it, which makes sense.
He doesn't know, I think, where the NIP supports are right now. Bane is about to wrap around on the top lane, and I guess well, now Rubik shows himself, but I think Seiyu's going to tank this gank as Maiden. Getting very low from Pango, but they get underneath their tier 1.
Yeah, they're all going to get out okay. It's a bit of a failed rotation there from NIP, perhaps, as Violet's starting to get beaten down a little bit in this bottom lane. In fact, Dream are going to overtake him on CS very shortly as well, so NIP perhaps splitting up their resources a bit too thinly across this map as they try to secure mid and don't manage to do so, and now they look towards top as well, but what are the supports doing right now on the side of NIP?
I think Bane wants to give as much experience to Weaver as possible, and he doesn't really have anything better to do, but he doesn't want to be taking experience away from Weaver, who needs all the Geminate and Shikuchi points possible, and time-lapse, because once he gets time-lapse, then it's pretty difficult for Empire to get a kill on the Weaver unless they have Shaman in the area, because, you know, Viper and Anti-Mage, they can't do it, really. They need some sort of hard disable. So, I think once once Weaver hits 6, and which now he has, then yeah, Bane comes back down bot. Or no, actually Rubik is coming down bot.
Yep, they're trying to bring down Dream here. He's got a Blink to work with though, and we'll just flat out Blink himself back to safety here, and get healed up by his kindly Wyvern as well. On the mid lane, Kodos having to TP out of this one, but he is going to be okay as 33 even jumps in to try and do some damage onto this one. And yeah, Kodos will just go back to the shrine to heal himself back up again.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
but now Ursa gets a completely free lane. He's pushing out top, completely uncontested, and that means that Shaman can also get pull experience in the meanwhile. So Maiden is going to take the enemy creep wave into the jungle, although it's not there. He's going to get the 10-minute bounty rune, and meanwhile, the Shaman is stacking up the other camp, so Empire are getting a lot out of this offlane, more so than they usually do, because they've historically been NIP has historically been sacrificing 33, but this is more than usual.
Yeah, and this is an Ursa they're giving a lot of early game momentum to. I mean, that sounds scary to me. They don't have the best. I mean, well, they've got.
It's Ursa and Shaman. If it was just the Ursa, then I would agree. But Ursa and Shaman means that they actually can fix the one problem with an Ursa getting a lot of farm, which is that he'll still get kited. But if your Shaman's able to help out, then you don't even need to worry about that. And hell, you can even take Roche very early. Spend Serpent Wards on it.
Haste. That's not even a big deal, as Weaver has a haste rune up in the top lane and is just kind of flying around Medina. And yeah, those odds coming up on the screen by one I expect there, now down to 7.7 for Team Empire, so obviously saying that maybe they might stand a chance this game, and maybe they might stand a chance in this entire series, basically. So if you do fancy placing a bet, head over to 1xBet, and you'll get 130 euros to place on this game in your deposit. Yep. Oh, that's handy. They put the score up on the screen for us. 3-1. Thank you very much. What nice guys. Because of course they can't do it at the top, so yeah, that's a really nice little production edition. Good job, production. Well done, guys. I get enough love and praise around these parts. Meanwhile, bottom tower being sieged a little bit by NIP here. They're using this catapult wave as they always seem to do on NIP to try and take themselves a cheeky tower or two. Meanwhile, Empire, they're just doing other things. They're farming up, they're getting some money, making some efficiency happen across this map, but that means they will lose out on taking any towers, I think, because, yeah, catapult top's already long dead. Oh, they're just going to drop snakes. Alright, who needs a catapult when you've got snakes? And they will get to work on this one. Fortify is being used. Heroes coming in, actually. Fada's here. 33 as well. They're maybe looking at Madden here, who does get caught by both the lucky shots there, but he's no jump. They just want to clean up the snakes and save their tower a little bit longer. It's a really interesting comparison between the two teams, actually. If you look at how Empire responded to their bottom tower being sieged, they just didn't. They just let it go down. And that was only with the catapult wave. Meanwhile, Empire, they commit snakes, even, to the top lane. And still, they, nothing, like, they don't get the tower, because NIP rotate in to defend it. They kill off the snakes, and they really put a lot more effort into defending that top tower.
I think it's just the power of the heroes when there aren't enough ultimates available. So, I mean, like, Serpent Wards is down, Winter's Curse isn't even available yet, and so that's now Rolling Thunder, that's up.
Yep, struggling to find a target here. Finally lands onto Kodos, there we go. Plenty of guys around, but only one of them gets caught. Meanwhile, they catch out Fada with the shackles here. Into a bear. Meanwhile, the rip from the high ground onto Kodos. He is caught out. Then suddenly finds himself alone, trying to run away here, but the swashbuckle forwards, along with the poison thrown out from Saxter, and they find that kill. And Empire lose two, and two big heroes as well, as they lose two cores, and also support as well. Of course, the Shaman going down to start off that whole shebang. Meanwhile, Ace will pick up his Midas. Okay, NIP. Just
he gets
like
a Midas,
that.
and Rubik has a freaking urn and tranquil boots.
Yeah, Saxter's fat.
What a weird position to take a fight for Empire, though. They looked like it wasn't time for runes. They were on the low ground. Black Archangel is now. There's way too much magic damage, and he's gonna tick inside the Cold Embrace.
I know it feels too good, but Empire looking for a turnaround here. Maybe looking onto Ace as he's trying to get himself away, but the shackles are out onto him. No chance of survival as Ace will die for his kill onto the Wyvern there, so maybe not quite worth it. Getting a bit carried away as Dream up in the top lane. Finds 33, just wants to take his mana away though. Just usual anti-mage things. Heading towards this Battle Fury, of course, no surprises there. What do you think about players, by the way, getting the recipe out for the Battle Fury before like anything else?
It's just whenever you need to spend your unreliable gold.
Okay.
There's no real... unless you're like about to die, and then you're like, well, I gotta spend it on something. Even though then generally I prefer it on like TP scrolls or like a Salve or Clarity, but you know, if you're right at that threshold, then you might as well just buy the recipe.
Yeah, I mean, M bought a recipe, that's the only why I'm saying that. I would just find it more I know you want those items which help you lane, which help you sustain, but...
Yeah, I agree. That's why it always hurts, especially for Battle Fury. Radiance is what hurts the most. Whenever you have to buy your Radiance recipe, if you're about to die, because you're like, dude, how am I gonna get 3,800 gold again? But oftentimes it's still the right play.
Yeah, no doubt. And, well, Empire's smoking up, looking for a bit of aggression here as Saya leads a charge with Madden. I mean, the two of these can find all the kills they can get, to be honest. I don't think there's anybody on the side of NIP except maybe the Pangolier who can survive an onslaught from these two. They will not find anybody.
Look who shows up.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Does actually swashbuckle forwards, though, to try and help out Ace here. As Ace running in onto Kodo. Sarah defending this one. Oh, that's a nice cold embrace, holding still. Sorry, Winter's Curse, but he does manage to get out of it. He gets the kill onto Kodo and gets away on 33. Never mind, Dream comes in from behind and finishes off 33. Meanwhile, Sayo, Black Archangel, and Ace all drop pretty much simultaneously. Deaths across the board right now, but definitely favoring NIP, as unfortunately they do lose out Ace, but I mean, they get a kill and 2 supports with it as well. Actually, I don't know, 33 went down as well, and Dream got one of these kills.
Yeah, but I think Fada getting larger and larger is more important, because the anti-mage wasn't really participating in any of that, and so all 3 cores of NIP got some experience and some farm out of it, whereas anti-mage is still... Ooh, he gives up Blink. Yeah, I don't know about that. He was trying to go for the deny, but giving up Blink to Saksa is not great. Oh, and Black Archangel tries to cliff himself, but Saksa has a Blink. Yep,
and they also see with wards up there anyway, so Black Archangel realizes that pretty quickly, gets himself down, but unfortunately doesn't look like he'll be surviving this one. Swarm out onto him, and Fada takes care of business. Cleans up shop.
And he has a Midas on the Weaver, so he has got the right idea trying to go late game. There are obviously now two Midases on NIP, one on the Arc Warden, which is a given, but one on Weaver as well. And 0 on the side of Empire, as Kodos has gone for a Rod as his first item on the Viper.
Being chased kind of around the trees here, going for the TP out, and Saksa does close the gap, but doesn't quite grab him in time. Now, Ursa comes up to the top lane. Maybe they can look for some aggression up here as PPD backs himself away. Placing down a cheeky sentry as he goes.
Maiden's playing as if he has his Blink Dagger completed, but he's still 150 gold away.
Yeah,
and the drum, he's already down to 2 drum charges.
Empire looking to drop snakes once again, I think. Yep, there we go. Not even sure that was necessary. Fortify comes down immediately just for fun because it gets refreshed anyway. But it will be good.
He had an Arcane rune, so I think it'll come back, yeah.
All about the efficiency, baby.
Hashtag efficiency.
Absolutely, but 33 getting to work down here in the bottom lane as he pushed that creep wave right the way in. We'll force someone from Empire to come back here. Which, in theory, unless Empire don't really care about their towers, which, to be honest, has kind of been a thing.
A systemic issue with Empire.
Yeah. A lot of poison up here in the top lane. Very toxic lane to go into. Ace being ran down. Madden and Dream are on top of him here, and he's going to drop again here. Just positioning himself so aggressively to get this farm off him. We saw him right the way down in the bottom lane, and now on the other side of the river in mid as well. So clearly not afraid to get down and dirty with the farm on the other side of the map. Well, up onto the high ground they go. Saksa falling pretty low to the Furies. Whites might be able to make it out still as Kodo's trying to chase him down. Kodo actually takes a ton of damage. They will be able to bring down Saksa. Sayu dead as well. Maybe looking towards PPD, but nope. Both teams will back themselves away. Well, Dream TPing down to bottom. He's now got this Battle Fury finished, so, you know, he made it through the laning phase. All credit to them. We casted some doubt on this anti-mage pick, but he's made it through the toughest part of the game, and now, well, if Empire can make the space for him, what a bad thing.
Yeah, for having level 6 on Bane, this is a solo kill.
Wow. Wow, that's kind of sad. Pangolier just getting to work.
PPD has had Fiend's Grip for a while, but I don't think I've seen him use it on anyone, and that's a little bit surprising because Empire are being very, very cognizant of spending their Serpent Ward cooldowns like whenever it's available. And so being able to leverage these ultimates from the supports is something that usually NIP are pretty good at, but this game, I think maybe they're saving it for Dream, and if they don't see Dream, then they're like, forget the Fiend's Grip, it's not worth spending it on like an Ursa or Viper. We mainly just want to make sure that Anti-Mage can't get in.
Yeah. Atos out in the mid lane onto Saxa here. Man tries to get on top of him, but immediately lifted up, but doesn't matter. He will get the kill all the same as Saxa goes down. All he wanted was a spell. All he wanted was a spell. Blink Dagger's out all around now, as Ursa has his a while ago, and now actually 33 has his. And look at Maiden just running in to the NIP lineup here. Not a fear in the world, so he just charges them with his Aegis. I mean, it doesn't even matter what they accomplish here, Empire, because they're already doing it. They're already giving AM the space, which they need to be doing. So every act of aggression like this, every time they blink in, it's fine. If the Ursa dies, it's kind of like whatever. Our anti-mage is farming. Obviously, you don't want to give away too much, but very much worth noting. That said,
there's a Fiend's Grip.
That said, Dream does die. I'm sure we'll get a replay of this very shortly as EPD and the crew get to work onto the anti-mage. So, and this is the thing, right? Empire backed off from that tower, and I really don't think they should have, because they didn't take the tower, and they never forced a fight. And as you just see, the rotation from NIP, they go around and they kill off the carry.
Either they take the tower or anti-mage gets free runes, because it was 20 minutes, and so they should have done one or the other, but they don't go for the runes and they don't go for the tower. So anti-mage kind of does it all by himself, and he goes down, which is quite expensive.
Damn, that illusion at top went to a creep, I think.
Yeah, I think I didn't see any gold bounty pop up over it. I was like,
horrible.
Yeah.
Is under attack.
I guess maybe we'll never will find out what happened to the AM, but we can pretty much assume it was just a sneaky PPD finding the Fiend's Grip. And yeah, Pangolier with this Maelstrom now doing a ton of damage. Actually, NIP taken to the high ground now, again just using these catapults every time they're up. And Snake's dropped for a tier 2 at top, but...
And he has an illusion rune. Illusion rune on Pango is so good, because all these illusions
so much. They've really taken the tower. I mean, 33 will die for this one, but I'm pretty sure he's kind of okay with this. He's done so much damage to this tower. All I hear is rotated back down, everybody forced back into the same area of the map. Lack of efficiency on the side of Empire, and opens up more space for Ace.
Man, Ace is so happy with that. He's like, good work, boys. I'll take it from here.
Let me take the wheel. Just a little bit longer. Is he going for the Necros?
Doesn't have anything queued up right now. It's just BOTs. Oh, okay, never mind. So he's going for the Maelstrom. Yeah. And afterwards, I would prefer him to continue going for other damage sources. Like a Bloodthorn, I think would be very, very nice. It would make this anti-mage so stressed out.
And again, the odds just dropping towards Empire further and further. Of course, so head over to 1xBet if you do fancy putting a bet down on any of these teams today, as might be your last opportunity to do so. Lift up in the mid lane onto men, but no follow-up really as they start to TP the way up top. There's a bit of a fight going on as Ace could be in some trouble. It's only Illusion actually trying to get rid of the range creep to maybe keep Kodos alive here, but I don't think there's any chance of him getting out of this as Fado arrives to the fight. Takes a lot of damage from the poison. Actually, the Swashbuckle misses as well, so Kodos staying alive a lot longer than he should here. Might actually take 33 with him. The Urn is not going to save him. Oh dear, that Swashbuckle missed, and it actually cost 33 in the long run, which is, well, it's poetry.
See no weaver.
Where was the... Oh, the glyph is down. I was about to be like, where was the offensive glyph to make sure that the range creep didn't die? And oh man, what a ward to find Ace.
No, he gets caught out again. Team Empire finding the kills here onto Ace. Alright, that kind of even things out in the big old carry race then. I mean, AM's ahead, so not really even, but he died a little bit earlier on, and now Ace takes his fall. Force out by Team Empire.
And they have Serpent Wards available, so I'm a little bit surprised that they're not pushing mid, but I think they want to keep this great position that they have on the eastern jungle so they can transition into tier 2 mid or tier 2 bot once Dream starts hammering away at this tier 1. And so yeah, they're preserving this position. PPD toying with fate.
It's like, I could go up there and probably instantly die, but I'd tell my team where they are, and he's like...
Oh, yep, he thinks he's smart going the other way, but... He does place a sentry, though, and confirms that
they still want to fight this one, yeah, as the Rolling Thunder comes in, and they're around the shrine here. This is a really bad place for Empire to fight, and absolutely, this is the PPD. This is a PPD we know and love. He dies, and he immediately says, alright, guys, you know, if I walk up this hill and die...
This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, he just
I'm gonna buy back. Yeah. You're gonna come over here. We're gonna win the fight. Yeah, great decision making. And the buyback was worth it. You see, he profited gold out of that. Granted, his buyback is on cooldown now, but I don't really think that's gonna be very relevant. And so, it was a good position to take. I think it's just that your Viper needs to be there. Your Viper is the main damage sponge, and Ursa's going to get kited around if you don't have Viper distracting people. So it was a good positioning. It's just that I don't think Empire were expecting all 5 heroes of NIP to converge on them that quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I love what you were saying earlier about the PPD being a representative for the whatever brand he's a part of, and he's actually got the NIP logo as his avatar.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you.
Commits.
Yeah, he commits 100%. Whenever he was on Optic, he was doing all the hashtags and all that stuff. That's why I think players very much underrate, as now Saksa.
I think he's okay here, just popping the counter spell and getting himself away. Sai might not be. It's actually Dream jumped forward, so I didn't even see that. Thought he'd back himself away, but he's going on to Saksa here. Might find this kill, but actually gets disarmed at the last possible second. Now comes out the Winter's Curse onto 33, and the Snake's going to keep them both in, but Fado is able to phase himself out of it. But Saksa and NIP have already gone down. And now Dream looking for more, maybe hunting PPD. He wants to get this guy. He'll start chapping away at his mana. Chip, chip, chop. Madden jumping himself in as well. They're going up onto the high ground for this one, but no, they decide enough's enough. Let's not get silly. Let's get ourselves away.
Solid ward trap. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to turn into any structure because it was just placed in the middle of nowhere, but it does get another kill on 33 and on Saksa as well. Oh man, so you can't actually go down the hill. He's blocked himself out.
Oh no.
I'm
very scared. Yeah, he's got a blink. He's alright. I like the way they were just picking it out though. Like, clearly having a giggle about it. See, it's a game. You're meant to have some fun whilst you're playing it, and Empire very much remembering that. It's nice to see that as well, considering, you know, they had a guy who kind of just threw in the towel.
Yeah.
Seems to be a bit of
I'm not seeing Dream having... Actually, it was Dream's pings. I think it was yellow pings, and he was like... He could have been just like, look at this dumbass.
PPD! I'm not sure what the plan was this time around, but a blink in from 33 is going to keep Maiden stun locked for the time being. Black Archangel in a bit of an awkward position right now, being just thrown around like a ragdoll by 33, and they will be able to take him out. Now they'll look towards Kodos as well. Go for the TP out. Do they have any stuns? Yes, they do. Yules comes out from Saksa here as they try and take down Kodos and will be successful. Down he goes, and that is going to be a kill for Fada, and actually a double kill for him as he gets both of these credits in the top lane. Will they get PPD? Well, you know, I said it, didn't I? I said it. Yeah. PPD dies, and I'm like, what's the plan this time, PPD?
Oh, he's always got a plan. It's always according to Keikaku. He was like, if I die here, that means that there are multiple here. So the game plan is either he gets a counter ward off because, you know, Radiant was just in the area, or NIP win a team fight because they're fighting right next to their own shrine. And so this is, like, a lot of people say that you have to practice the buddy system when you're warding, which is true, but also if you have a contingency plan for warding, that's also good. And so you don't need someone to come with you, you just need someone to come after you.
Smart words. Words of guidance for any teams out there looking to, how can I be as good as PPD? Well, that's lesson one for you. That's lesson one. A very, very long list of lessons, I'm sure, which that guy's learned over his time. You know, it's interesting when you think of PPD and compare him to like some of the other relics in the Dota community, you know. A lot of them just kind of paired up with the other guys who have been here around for a long time, you know, like Seb and Notel, for example. Whilst they have picked up a couple of bit of new blood, they stick together, but PPD's just gone off on his own. He's like kind of banding together with loads of fresh bloods and seeing what he can make of a new team. I think that's really respectful.
Yeah, same thing with Poppy as well. I think there was like some interview with Poppy where he was like, you can give me any like top 100 ranked players and give me like 6 months with them and I will make a top tier team out of them, and that is something I don't doubt.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes why captains are the most valued commodity in roster shuffles. It's just because it's an art to be able to take players together and band them together. Granted, NIP have not had as much immediate success as previous rosters, but I would also contend that there's not as much star power on this PPD roster compared to like Optic, where he had like Zai as a good backbone and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, Fada, he's been around a while, and
yeah, for sure.
Sax is constantly proving himself to be a formidable 4 player, and also shot caller is Maiden could be in some trouble here. Rolling Thunder coming through, Maiden just getting his health chunked away here as Fada gets to work, and
this guy get another illusion rune on Pango? Jesus.
He's fighting them all over the place. Winter's Curse comes in a little bit too late, and it will just end up going for nothing.
Well, the Rubik have stolen.
Once again, how many times now? At the 29-minute mark, and it's less than a 1k gold advantage. This series has just been so even on the gold in pretty much every game, except the last game, which we don't talk about anymore. Didn't happen, didn't exist, don't look for it. But every other game has been super, super duper close at this kind of like 30-minute mark, and usually we kind of known who's going to take it, and I think I kind of favor NIP, but I don't know, there's an anti-mage. That's the thing which keeps on popping up in my mind, you know. Yeah, okay, one team has the Arc Warden, but the other team's got an anti-mage, and you can
this team is aware that Roche is going on, but unfortunately Winter's Curse is down.
Yeah, this is the... Oops, Snake's just thrown straight away into the pit. Dream jumping in as well. Fana's dropping so low so quickly. They will get the kill onto the Weaver. Annihilated with that BKB from Dream, and he's just focusing on the Roshan. PPD jumps in. 33 jumps in, but can't take the Aegis. Dream will take it and now chase his way out, looking for kills, looking for blood. PPD tries to get up the cliff, but you can't climb, so he will die. Sax can do nothing but shackle up Kodos as he waits for death, and this is a great fight for Team Empire as they take down 3 heroes, and they're looking for more. Dream chasing forward. Ace maybe a little bit out of reach, but Dream, he's still mad about last game. He's looking to punish some people, but will now back himself away and get back to pushing out some webs. I'm sure they want to take bottom lane for this. I mean, look at it. Nice and pushed in. Get those bounty runes. Even a double damage there if he fancies it. I'm not quite sure he spotted it as he blinked past. But yeah, the rest of Empire pushing in the middle tower, and AM alone will push in bottom. There is Ace waiting in the trees on both sides, so he's actually going to try and delay both of these pushes here, but they really want this illusion to get that money. Meanwhile, AM's chasing down the other one. They get the illusion, they can't get the real McCoy as he makes his way back onto the high ground on the side of Ace.
It was amazing initiation by the Shaman. Uses the Serpent Wards to get vision, and then hexes and shackles the 2 targets that are inside the pit, and AM just completed his BKB, so he gets to pop in, reveal that, and very confidently take over that Roche. It is... I'm a little bit surprised that NIP weren't more protective of their Roche attempt, because they didn't smoke in. There were no sentry wards placed outside of the pit to make sure that there was no vision. So it was a very cavalier move of them to just step inside the pit with really no escape maneuver. They didn't have someone standing on side if Empire smoke in, and they even knew. They saw Winter Wyvern attacking their ward, which kind of proves that they saw the ward to begin with.
Yeah.
And they were like, whatever, Roche is close enough, we can finish it off.
Yeah,
which they were
very, very close. Curse. That was a big thing,
same
wasn't it?
thing, yeah. No Winter's Curse, but...
Well, that's your lesson. If you're playing Dota and you know, you just throw your spell away for nothing, throw a black hole on the ground, then the enemy team's going to be like, oh, they don't have black hole. We can do anything. Get overconfident. Smart moves. Dream takes a ton of damage from Fada there, actually.
Yeah, I think, wait, let me make sure. I think you can crit off the Geminate attack damage, and that's why Daedalus is doing so much.
Oh, wow. That'd be nice. Ace is being run down, well, the illusion's being run down anyway, but that is going to be 300 gold going towards Dream. Can't throw away those illusions for nothing, and credit to Ace, he did try and keep it alive, but fortunately it didn't quite happen. Surprisingly, Empire... Well, actually, I guess not. I mean, Empire really not trying to get that much done here, but, you know, they've got the anti-mage lineup. You know, they've got Ursa and Viper as their other 2 cores as well. These guys scale. Not as well as anti-mage, but they still scale, so they're in no pressure to make something happen here. And, yep, look at that net worth just skyrocketing up for them after that incredibly good Roche fight. NIP. They don't want this game to go on any longer.
Yeah, although Arc Warden did not opt for the Necrobook build, and so he is going to scale a little bit better than most Arc Wardens would later as the game goes. He's gone for Pike, Mjolnir, and just BOT's Midas, and so he's not stuck with a really expensive item that, as the game progresses, Necrobook does not do very much, because the units will just die very quickly, the last will damage isn't really worthwhile, and you push faster than your units would at a certain point, and so like I said, I'm glad that he went for more damage. Still hasn't gone for any crowd control yet, so, I mean, something like a Bloodthorn will go a long way. I think he can go for an MKB if he thinks that Anti-Mage is going to have a Battle Fury, a Butterfly completed fairly soon. But he is going to scale better than a lot of Arc Wardens would.
Dire are scanning.
Onto the high ground we go for NIP. Main just jumping in, gets the bash, but Saxa is ready. Although in comes the Atos, but still gets the time lapse off. It's a fast chicken, but he's still going to get himself away. Meanwhile, 33 calls it tricky. Although in comes that Winter's Curse. That's going to be enough to keep 33 held still, and now the shackles come out as well, and 33's got no escape plan for this one, as the Pangolier will be finished off. Meanwhile, Dream just hitting more and more creeps, extenuating his net worth advantage further and further as this game goes on. He's also got a basher for himself once that Aegis runs out, which will be pretty soon. Not long left on the Aegis.
2 bashers, 2 blink bash initiations that Fada has to be concerned about. Ursa and Anti-Mage.
Yeah, and you can't even Linkens about that. You know, you can't even build a Linkens. There's nothing which helps you against Basher. So this is really nice, nice itemization from Team Empire.
I wonder how Fada's gonna build to deal with this. He's got a BKB queued up right now, but even that's like not really an answer because there's also the threat of just blink Hex. You won't even necessarily get time to pull it off. So it's a tough game to itemize as a Weaver for sure. If it wasn't Fada, then it would have been really nice. If it was like a 33 Weaver, then an Aghanim Scepter would have been amazing this game. And just let like your Arc Warden siege, or you know, you can get Pango out of hard situations. But if you're the core, if you're the one position, if you're really the primary damage dealer, then you can't go for an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. The curse of the core Weaver, I guess.
No.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Shame, as you say, it would be a really nice item to have this game as Ox Angel sits on the cliff and just making sure it's unwooded. But yeah, as I say, you know, the Empire, when they're in control of this game, they don't mind slowing things down a little bit and taking it slow. You know, they're in no rush to finish things off. So that's why we're seeing this kind of slow-paced game. You know, letting the Aegis expire, it's not a big deal for them at all. They don't really care if the Aegis gets used or not. And here they want 300 gold for Ace's Illusion, and I think they're going to get it. Oh, no. Did Cannibal get it again? Come on.
I think so.
Meanwhile, Dream found Fada with the Abyssal Blade.
The Abyssal.
Just about got off the... Ooh, again, they get hexed up. He's running his way away, but surely they don't catch him.
Oh, no bash.
Bashes for you. Sakuchi, too much. They're still chasing, but Fada, he's on the other side of the tree, so they'll have to settle for the creeps.
Oh, they get the curse!
They're using everything here, and you can still drain his mana inside. There you go.
No mana.
Doesn't matter. I mean, they've got the shackles. He's gone. A long chase for Team Empire, but they finally find Fada, and they saute his mushrooms good and proper. As these creeps will... Oh, Ace Illusion running in Invis, but also gets cleaned up. And there we go.
Wow. Ace went for a Shadow Blade on... Arc Warden. I don't agree with that. Yeah. You have a Weaver on your team already. There's plenty of detection. And I don't really think Silver Edge Break is that valuable.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 sources of magic damage prevention on the side of Empire, but they don't really have any magic damage anyway on the side of NIP, so why do they care? Also, I think these I know that Ace got a Maelstrom. Did Weaver get a Maelstrom as well? No, he went Diffusal. But still, I mean, Diffusal's magic damage as well, isn't it?
No, it's physical damage.
Oh, jumping in with the Abyssal Blade, and Saxa is no more. Now Madden jumping in as well. 33 in a lot of trouble here. The Pangolier can't get his spells off. He's just being locked down and destroyed in the back lines. Into the trees he goes, and he is dead. 33 out of the fight. 2 heroes dead on the side of NIP. A buyback comes through from Saxa to bring him back to life. And Empire just back themselves away. They got creeps to farm. They got lanes to push back out. They're happy with what they've done here. They've got a buyback off 1 hero and killed 2 more. They can keep on playing the pace.
Yeah, Roche potential to respawn very soon. So might as well just sit back and wait for that. I really don't know why Ace went for a Shadow Blade. Because, like, the best part of having a Shadow... So he's going for the Scythe next, but... It almost feels like it should be the other way around. Because, like, what good is the Shadow Blade if you don't have the Hex? Whereas the Hex can be useful no matter what. You can always make use out of that, but if you can't, you know, invisibly initiate on an anti-mage, because...
Oh, Abyssal Blade once again, Saxa with the dieback, buying him a little bit of space here with the Nightmare, with the Yules, and a blink away from Saxa, but they're still chasing him down. A second Abyssal comes down, and that will be the end of Saxa.
He's dead for 90 seconds.
Dead on the Rubik.
And so he's going to be dead when Roche comes back.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very quick respawn, but I mean, I'm not sure Empire will be looking out for this one, to be honest. They don't have anything to scout it out with, so I imagine they're just going to try and take high ground here, which isn't really what they're after. Smoke up from NIP, though. They're willing to fight this one. Smokes do get popped from the right clicks. And up they go onto the high ground. just blinking up there straight away. They want to take this tower, and they want to take it quick, and they will be able to do so. Tower, yep, is going to fall. It's being kept alive by this Magnetize, which is fairly annoying. But, I mean, they've got so much stuff. Surely the Snakes get it right. There we go. There we go. Xayah gets himself a tower, and they'll back themselves off, take some shrines, take Roshan, claim the map for their own. Team Empire a foot and leg above NIP so far. And it's only going to get bigger.
Poor Weaver, man. I have no idea what you really do in this situation as a Weaver. Because there's also no one you can really confidently initiate on. 3 TPs to the bot lane.
I make it 5.
Full oh man, everyone's going bot. They really want to challenge these 40-minute runes. I think Weaver may think like, they were just top. Oh, never mind.
They just go straight away onto Fada here, and they annihilate him before he can even do anything. And now the Winter's Curse and Abyssal Blade comes down onto 33. A bit of lapse in communication, but what's it matter? They're going to be able to bring him down all the same. 33, no chance of escape. Shackles out, hold him still. Meanwhile, Dream was looking for BPD, but he's going to, not going to stop here. Abyssal Blade comes out onto him, and the captain's being taken down quickly. No mana to work with, and no life to work with either. The Bane is killed in the jungle. Ace, Illusion trying to push out this middle lane, but they're even going for the Illusion as well. They want everything they can get, Team Empire. They are hungry for this victory, and there doesn't seem to be too much in their way. Increasingly little as the forces of NIP get whittled down. No Weaver, no buyback on him if Empire do want to go high ground right now. That Roche still sitting in his pit looking very tasty, but the Racks apparently looking even tastier. Empire are going for it. They're going for top.
It's possible that if they get a Weaver buyback, then they'll back off, but Weaver can't even buy back. He's 800 gold away, so gonna finish off the top racks. Only took the tier 3 previously, and I think that's the right decision. They can do Roche really whenever. You have an Ursa on your team, so it doesn't matter how long it takes. And Anti-Mage still has the cheese also, so they still have that from the previous Roche.
Abyssal Blade jumping in deep, going on to Ace here. He's got him caught out with the Abyssal Blade, but does he have enough damage to follow up with the Aetol's going to keep him still, but Dream has changed targets. He wants to find PPD, not going to survive very long, but the Nightmare and the 4-star going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but Sax are caught out by the second Abyssal Blade of Madden, and now they've got 33 held still with the Winter's Curse on the backlines as well. Shackle up. How many times has happened to 33? Too many is probably the answer, and immediately jumping onto Ace as well. They get him. They get everybody. There is a buyback coming through onto Ace. How long can he delay for? Empire so close to winning this game and extending the series further. Can they pull this off, though? It's a huge ask.
They still haven't gone for Roche.
Yeah,
not that they need to. 3 heroes dead. It's Arc Warden and Weaver versus the world.
This victory so close, but the series still so far away, as is the nature of the best of 7, but they might be getting mega creeps right here as, I mean, they really want to find these extra kills to just kind of force NIP out of the game. And they find Fada again, 100 seconds, he's not going to be here. Ace inside his own base, he's gone. Surely this is it. Yep, GG is called. NIP tap out on the brink of victory. They fall, and you know, this is something which, Kips was talking about a lot yesterday. She said NIP are a team which are prone more than any other team to getting overconfident and just letting themselves slip away. And I feel like this is what's happened in this game. A little bit of overconfidence, you know, not really making the correct rotations perhaps, or I mean, I don't even know. You're the analyst. What did they do wrong this game?
I think they let this Ursa and Shaman get way too much farm. Shaman should not have been able to get a blink Aether Lens at the time that he did. It's way, like I said, it's not that big of a concern if it's just Ursa getting a lot of farm, because it was Ursa and Shaman laning together against 33. 33 couldn't do anything, and generally he doesn't get very much to do, at least in the laning phase, but it's usually okay because he's just giving one carry a lot of farm. But it was a carry and it was a support, and that's something that Empire have shown time and time again. If Seiyu is able to get farm, he is always very effective on his Tiny, and now on his Shaman. He has consistently been my MVP for Empire, and he's something that you need to be very, very aware of whenever you're playing against him. Like, how useful is the support going to be at various stages of the game? And oftentimes with this Tiny, it's just all about the laning phase.
Yeah.
And obviously, as like the game progresses, then like you'll do some toss plays here and there, but it's mainly the laning phase that you need to be concerned about. With a Shaman, you need to be concerned about it all game long, especially if you have a hero like Weaver, who's so vulnerable to a hero like Shaman. So I think that was the downfall of NIP this game.
Yeah, Fada had such a rough game. I mean, you can't really blame him when you've got this much going on in his game to worry about. You know, he's got those bashes coming out. He's got the What else was there? There was, I mean, obviously Shaman, as you mentioned, with the Aether, Blink. So much to just grab hold of this Weaver and stop him having a game. And that's exactly what they did. He didn't have a game, and I'm pretty sure this was a last pick Weaver, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I mean, yeah, NIP should know what they're picking into right now, but I guess they just didn't expect it to be this bad as, Empire.
I mean, sometimes a shaman is just food for a weaver, and especially with a Daedalus, it would take like basically 2 Geminate attacks and the shaman's dead, as we can see in this highlight. He just gets hammered away, but that's assuming that you have map control and stuff like that. And if you have an Arc Warden on your team, generally you should have map control because Arc Warden is constantly pushing out all the lanes, but Empire just did a really good job at making sure that NIP never really got to venture past their side of the river.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case this game. And as well, you pick the Weaver into these heroes like the Ursa and the Viper, and you can think, well, he doesn't care about these 2 heroes. He's going to have a free game, but yeah, it just didn't end up that way. As I said, I still think that NIP laned it weirdly. The fact that the supports had a lot of downtime in the laning phase, a lot of traveling to and fro lanes, didn't really decide what lane they wanted to commit to winning. You can't win all 3 lanes, so you got to win 2. And I kind of felt like they just split themselves too thin over that laning phase when they probably could have done a better job down in the bottom lane, securing Fodder a better time and shutting down the AM in the process. But instead, they kind of just, as I say, split things up a bit. Maybe wanting to repeat the same kind of stompy atmosphere as last game, but didn't work out. And yeah, I mean, this is just a constant. And this as well, Paul 33, every single time he was getting Winter's Cursed into Shackles, Winter's Cursed into Shackles, Winter's Cursed into Shackles. He didn't have the freedom which you need as a Pangolier to be effective. And this was the last fight of the game, the long one, but Dream just jumping forwards, forcing Ace back out of the fight, so we can't just sit there and do damage to people, and PPD getting called out. Both the supports just didn't stand a chance this game. You have an Ursa and an Anti-Mage with Blinks and Abyssals, it's just a horrible game to be a support in.
Yeah, I think even beyond 33 not having enough freedom, because in previous games, there was a lot of Grimstrokes, and they would keep soulbinding Pangolier, but that 33 was okay tanking the soulbind for his team. In this game, there was literally no reason to Winter's Curse anyone, which is crazy, because normally you'd think with a Weaver, such a slippery hero, you're like, I gotta Winter's Curse the Weaver, otherwise, how are we gonna get a setup for our Shaman, or how are we gonna get set up for our Ursa? He's just gonna get kited around. Pretty much every single Winter's Curse in a team fight situation was just used on the Rolling Thunder. Any other Winter's Curse was just used in a pick-off situation for just a 1 hero kill. And so that's a great place to be as a Wyvern, because you're like, oh, it doesn't, I don't really stress out about how much farm I get. I'll just give it all to my Shaman, and all I need to do is set 1 hero up, which is the Pangolier.
Well, that is going to be the end of that game then, and on to the next game in the series as well, the best of 7.
Game 6!
Keeps going, Game 6,
How
we're nearly there, Tsunami.
Game 6!
This is the first and only time, I reckon.
I mean, at this point, I hope it goes to a Game 7, because,
it has to, right?
Game 6 is, that's not memorable. Even and at this point, it's been so long that it doesn't even matter if the series ends. So if I'm this deep, if I'm invested this much, you might as well give me a Game 7.
Might as well get there, but Empire, they do have their work cut out for them. Obviously not coming into this in the favourites, but still doing a very good job on taking NIP off their high horse in this best of 7 series. My name is Nomad, here's Tsunami, and we'll be back very soon to bring you the next game in this thrilling super final.